Baby. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine, hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rapping back Mr. Magic Marley Marl. I let my tape rock till my tape pop.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shasheena. Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. ZNS News has confirmed that 3 more persons, an illegal Haitian migrant and 2 Bahamians, are in custody for questioning in connection with that apparent human smuggling operation in West Grand Bahama yesterday. That brings the total number of persons arrested to 7 so far. As police investigate this island's latest apparent human smuggling operation, the Department of Immigration is sending a stern warning to the perpetrators to stop this illegal trade. Charisma Robinson has our top story.
Human smuggling from the island of Grand Bahama continues to pose a huge challenge for the Department of Immigration and law enforcement agencies.
My department is concerned that if these activities continues, that there will be more tragedies, unfortunately.
Tragedies like the one that happened back in July, where 8 people, including 2 children, died as a result of an operation gone wrong. Assistant Director in the Department of Immigration, James Rolle, says yesterday's incident in the Holmes Rock community was definitely not worth the risk, especially since children were involved.
Food items and other apparatus that were left behind, we know that children are involved. And, you know, it's really a tragic situation when you have children's lives are being placed at risk in the kind of activities that we see going around the island.
4 Haitians and 3 Bahamians have since been taken into custody for questioning. Meantime, the immigration chief is calling on the perpetrators to stop the illegal trade and putting people's lives at risk.
We need to stop selling our country for these activities that really, in the end, will cause us to, as a country, to look as though we're really aiding and abetting.
But Rolle says communities must play a bigger role in reporting possible sightings to the appropriate authorities. He also dismissed the idea that these matters are isolated to the Holmes Rock area. The assistant director says, though, there is definitely a need for increased and maintained vigilance and patrol on the part of the Department of Immigration. He says in these isolated cases, his department can only react.
If we have information or intelligence beforehand, we're able to move in and prevent most of these incidents from getting to the waterfront or in the waters. But most of the times our attempt is usually to intercept these persons online before they actually get to the point of going or boarding any boats to leave the islands. But we are satisfied that from the evidence we received yesterday that this again was an attempt to move people from this island elsewhere.
The assistant director is calling for tighter cooperation among all law enforcement agencies in 2014 in order to see a real turnaround on the situation. Charisma Robinson, ZNS Network News.
The Grand Bahamians are reacting to an armed robbery that affected 2 U.S. visitors to this island this past Sunday night. Tonight, they say in an already sluggish tourist economy, the last thing this island needs is a bad rap.
This is a disgrace, man. This is a disgrace. It makes me feel bad.
Residents say it is a shame that crime, in particular armed robbery, has reached an all-time high. Just this past weekend, 2 visitors to Grand Bahama were robbed of $240 in cash in their hotel room by a man brandishing a knife.
We expect things like that to happen in our community. Perhaps we are living in a false sense of security.
I think it's terrible that these things happen to us at this time, and you know, I think we are getting a bad image worldwide with all the crimes that is happening today.
That's bad. Free boy done bad. Grandmama done in a bad position. So, and we done complaining about jobs. So, you know, where we can get the jobs if we still robbing, we ain't trying to make it better for ourselves.
That's very terrible, because that makes it bad for our economy. Because when they go back, they're going to tell the people, hey, he was in the Bahamas and he got robbed. You know, they're going to spread that.
But there's no need to. Last month, the U.S. Embassy in Nassau advised U.S. citizens residing in and traveling to Freeport, Grand Bahama to be aware of their surroundings and remain on heightened alert to avoid being a victim of crime. This came after two men robbed two U.S. citizens in their hotel room using a machete back in November. And in September, a couple was robbed at Machete Point in the afternoon on Barbary Beach. Residents say this type of activity gives Grand Bahama Island a bad name.
Better do something about it because they won't come. It's as simple as that.
Doesn't give the island a good image at all. You know, it's very, very bad. And we are suffering already here in Grand Bahama, as we are. And to have that sort of thing going on is very poor.
Once the U.S. then issue a news, that old duck. No more hiding. They know what's going on in the Bahamas. They know what we vote. And we is one, so is all us.
The recent incidents have left many to question if anyone is safe. On Monday, the Deputy Prime Minister was robbed at his residence. Grand Bahamians are weighing in on what they think needs to be done to curb this trend.
I would suggest with the jurisdiction system that would need to toughen up. I mean, it's so many people getting out on bail, and basically the ones, this is where I see it, the ones that commit the bigger crime, they somehow have better chances of coming out than the ones committing smaller ones. I'm not for it, but you have to change that system.
The punishment for crime, I think, is so minimal. You know, I don't think they're severe enough with the punishment for crime, and that's the reason why there's no respect.
Shifting now to news from the economy, another local family is investing in the water purification business. A young man is leading this venture that he says aims to meet international standards. Megan Shepard reports.
A local businessman investing in the water business through refill vending machines. Owner of Bahamas Glaciers, Roger Charlton, says that the industry is presently moving toward offering customers more affordable, convenient, and sanitary water refills. Charlton explains how the 5-gallon refill machine works.
The process is quite simple. It's reverse osmosis. It is no different than any commercial water manufacturing facilities. It has all the components of a commercial. It's been compressed, compact, and placed into a small compartment. So it meets all U.S. and Canadian standard in terms of water. The concept behind sterilizing the bottle is that you want to make sure before you fill your bottle, it is sterilized. And ozone is the primary source of sterilization used throughout the water industry and also in general. Additionally, you need to be able to sterilize the caps, as we have demonstrated. So when the bottle is filled, you have a sterile bottle.
Charlton says this vending machine is a bit different from others since it's based on strict international standards.
The concept is quite simple. Rather than having to go to a water depot and fill up your bottle here and then come here to the store to purchase your grocery, the concept is quite simple. It was to put both of them under the same roof. Thereby, you can get your water and your grocery one time and also at a very affordable price.
Charlton also showed us the testing process for the parts per million for city water, bottled water, and Bahamas glacier water. He explains why these numbers are important to the purity of the water.
The parts per million going the city source water to the machine is 541 parts per million. And the source water that goes to your bottle is 16. The positive to this is that the lower the TDS that enters your body, the easier the cells in your body can be hydrated. And I also wanted to compare it to what that of the U.S. is standing here in the form of Nestle's water should give the public a general idea exactly how efficient the machine is. Not just a box with a couple of things in it. It actually demonstrates and meets all U.S. standards.
So far, there are 2 locations for the 5-gallon refill vending machines. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition continues right after this.